Hello and welcome to MyFusion Helper. My name is Troy Broussard, and in this quick video we're going to be talking about the Note It helper. Now, the Note It helper is something that has kind of evolved over time. There used to be some limitations with Infusionsoft Notes and some of the merging capabilities, and so this was a feature that was more useful in the past than it perhaps is today. However, it still has a couple of different uses that make it worthwhile in a couple of certain scenarios that I'll talk about here. The first thing I'm going to do is just kind of show you how to set it up inside the app, and then we'll go into Infusionsoft and show you how to deploy it, and then I'll talk about the couple of use cases that still remain valid for this and how you may potentially use it as some of our other clients are in their apps. All right, so let's just dive in. Okay, so here we are inside the app, and I've already logged in, and so what we're going to want to do is create a helper, and this is going to be for our Note It helper. And we'll give it a name, call it Note It Demo, and go ahead and click to configure and create the helper. Now, when we come into this screen, what you're going to find is that you have just a couple of different options. You can set the subject for the note, and this can just be called and left voicemail or whatever you want to be. And then in the note itself, you can merge in various custom fields and standard fields or whatever you want to merge into that, and we'll just put that in with the rest of your text in line. So you can compose the note however you want and merge in whatever merge fields you want to do, and then you can select the actual note type that it is. And so, this I might just say as other, and that would be it. So this honestly is about the same as what you can do with the note feature inside of the default campaign builder. I will go into a couple of use cases, however, in just a minute of how we could still utilize this in ways that we can't with inside of campaign builder. So that's the way it is to create the note, very simple. And then you go ahead and copy the link here. And then we come into Infusionsoft and we have a little campaign set up as an example. And so you would have an HTTP post here, and you just double click, paste in that URL, and go ahead and click on ready. And that's all it takes to do it. Now, inside of Infusionsoft, by default, you can just drop a note on this way as well, and just apply a note like this. And so the reason why you may or may not want to actually use our feature as opposed to the built-in way to do it has to do with some flexibility. Okay, so here's what I mean. So let's go ahead and kind of switch the presentation back, and we'll go ahead and talk about the couple of examples that I see. The first one is integrating with other applications outside of Infusionsoft. So we have some clients that integrate with third-party systems, and they want to be able to apply notes inside of Infusionsoft from their outside system. And since all of our HTTP posts are simple, URLs that can be called from outside of Infusionsoft as well, that works great for third-party integrations. So that's one particular use case. It's very narrow, I know, but it is a very solid use case for it. A second one is, again, if you're doing using the Chain It helper, and if you're not familiar with that, please go watch the video on it. But using the Chain It helper allows you to execute multiple helpers in one HTTP post from within Infusionsoft. So rather than having a function that you call and then waiting a minute and then calling another helper, then waiting a minute and calling another helper, and having all of that kind of logic inside Campaign Builder, you can instead create a helper that's called a Chain It and combine all of those into one call. So sometimes it makes more sense to be able to do the note right inside of MyFusion Helper because you're using a Chain It function and you have 3 or 4 other things that you're chaining together, and you don't want to have to go out of MyFusion Helper back over to to Campaign Builder and then come back in again. Okay, so those are really the two primary use cases. Like I said in the past, when you couldn't do the merging and things like that in the notes, this was much more used, but today it still does have a couple of good use cases. All right, so hopefully that answers your questions on it. If you have any other questions, just reach out to us on the help desk at help@myfusionsolutions.com.